LCT 500 is steaming up the River Itchen to join other landing craft assembling at Chesil Bay, just below Northern Bridge. 4th Special Service Brigade, later to be known as 4th Commando Brigade, were probably camped on Southampton Common in Area C. The brigade headquarters was loaded at Northern Quay, just below the present-day St. Mary's Soccer Stadium. The landing craft then proceeded back down the River Itchen and on to Normandy, ready for the D-Day landings. 48 Commando were to land at Nan Red sector of Juno Beach with the objective of assaulting the strong point at Langrune-Sur-Mer, and then to link up with 41 Commando, sealing the breach between the 3rd Canadian Infantry Division and the British 3rd Division. On their approach to the shore, 2 of their ships struck underwater obstacles and sank. Weighed down by their equipment, many of the Marines drowned in the surf. Those that did get ashore faced intense German small arms fire. The combined effect of these 2 situations was that only 50% of the commandos got off the beach unscathed. B Company of the Canadian North Shore Regiment and number 48 Commando of the Royal Marines were engaged in a protracted fight to secure St-Aubin and Langrune-Sur-Mer. B Company had generally neutralized the strong point within 2 hours of landing, which allowed Troop A and B of the Royal Marines to push east. These units had the important objective of bridging the 5-mile gap between landing zones at Juno and Sword, which would allow for a continuous Anglo-Canadian front by the end of the first day. Once off the beach, 48 Commando advanced to their objective, the heavily defended guns at Langrune. As they approached, the destroyer HMS Vigilant bombarded the position with little effect due to the heavy fortifications. The commandos found the strong point protected by snipers, mines, machine guns, and a 4-foot-thick concrete wall. They were then joined by 2 Centaur support tanks from the 1st Royal Marine Support Regiment. The first of these tanks moved towards the wall, firing its 95mm howitzer, and obliterated a machine gun bunker that had been covering the crossroads. The 2nd Centaur began to move into position but struck a mine while approaching the wall, forcing the crew to bail out and join the commandos. With the Centaurs out of ammunition or disabled, the attack faltered. B Troop raced across the intersection to the house opposite, only to discover that it had been fortified. The commandos then received news that the 21st Panzer Division's counter-attack had already stopped the British advance at Caen and was pushing on towards Lyon-sur-Mer. The commandos were ordered to cease the assault and take up defensive positions. The German Panzer Grenadiers reached the 716th Infantry Division's position only to find that they were still manned and situated between the 2 units of the 4th Special Service Brigade. However, the glider assault landing of the 6th Air Landing Brigade of the 6th Airborne Division to the east changed the situation. Seeing the gliders landing, the German commander feared he would be outflanked and ordered his force to withdraw towards Caen. Had he pushed onward and attacked the commandos, Sword would have been isolated and the entire eastern flank of the Allied invasion may have collapsed. As it was, in the morning, the commandos were joined by a pair of M10 tank destroyers which fired anti-tank rounds at the wall. For the next hour, the M10s peppered the wall with solid shot and the fortification began to disintegrate. A Sherman tank of the Royal Marines Armoured Support Group then appeared and opened fire on the wall and allowed the commandos to launch an assault. Advancing behind the Sherman, covered by its gun, the commandos seized the interior of the strongpoint and spent the rest of the day silencing the remaining pockets of resistance around Langrune. The strong points at Langrune and Sur-le-Mer were captured by the 8th of June. The brigade's reserve element, number 46 Commando, landed on Juno Beach at the 900 hours on the 7th of June and advanced onto Petit-en-Feu. They faced stiff German resistance, but were able to force their way through the German positions and onto Luc-sur-Mer. There they met up with 41 Commando, linking Juno and Sword beaches.